Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Volunteer Park as we continue on with the City Series here, Little League, home of Eastland Baseball. This is the finals of the losers bracket. 3 teams left. Pine Hill Braves are the home team. The Westland Sox are the visitors. This is Aiden Peterson leading off for Westland. These 2 teams open up the tournament. This being Friday, they played Monday. And Westland was the victor. Call third strike on Peterson. Elijah Moran on the mound for the Pine Hill Braves. Swing and a miss. We have big puffy white clouds, a huge splash of blue skies, and there's a breeze blowing 80 miles an hour. It's cool, but it is blowing. We are right next to the flag out in center field, and the flag is almost blowing off the flagpole. So anything hit up in the air is going to be an adventure for these young men. And one young lady, Casey Kelter, is the second baseman for Westland. That one gets away and they throw him out.
Now batting for the Red Sox, number 1.
That's one of the new rules they put in a while ago. It used to be you strike out no matter where the ball goes, you're out. And then when it became girls softball, you could run on a drop third strike. They put it into the boys baseball as well. Rowan Merriman, he's the shortstop today. He got the win on the mound against Pine Hill in the first game. So Pine Hill looking for a little payback. The winner of this game will come back tomorrow and face Eastland with a tall task. They would have to beat Eastland twice. Swing and a miss. Rowan Merriman was the home run derby winner here on Sunday. Way up and in, he swung through that pitch. Moran got a lot of help. That was way up and in. One, two, the count. Pitching from a full windup, which we haven't seen much. Call third strike. So Moran strikes out the side. An impressive start. They started early, so I didn't do the lineup for Westland. I'll do it for Pine Hill. It'll be Jackson Barrett, the shortstop, leading off. Riley Driscoll will catch and bat second. Batting third and pitching, Elijah Moran. The first baseman, Mason Palladino, will hit fourth. Playing center field and batting fifth, Brian Boyson. The second baseman, Jancel Pimentel, will hit number 6. Batting seventh and playing right field, Shea Paul. The third baseman, Alphonse Williamson, will hit number 8. And playing left field and batting ninth is Jordan McLeod. Unfortunately, we're just before, about a month before school starts, maybe a little bit more, but it's difficult. They've been playing all year, and some of the families have taken the opportunity to go on vacation. And that has cost some of these teams. They've lost players. Wyoming actually forfeited out of this tournament. That's unheard of. But they couldn't field a team. And even today, West Lynn missing a couple of players. And one of their players, I think it's Colado out in right field, has got a bad hand. It's hard for him to catch the ball. It would have to be his glove hand, obviously. Aiden Peterson is on the mound.
Number 2, Aiden Peterson. Leading off for the Braves, number 5, Jackson Barrett.
Jackson Barrett, the shortstop, leads it off. Down away for a ball. Coach Driscoll in charge of Pine Hill. Coach Peterson, West Lynn. And this is Coach Peterson's son pitching. Coach Driscoll's son is the catcher for Pine Hill. He's done some pitching too. He won a game. Line drive off the glove and dropped. They had the play, and now they throw it away. So they compound the error by making another error.
Now batting for the Braves, number 3, Riley Driscoll.
They dropped the line drive. There was an easy out for the first error. And then they turn around and throw the ball over the pitcher's head and allow the runner to go to second base. And now the runner steals third. So just like that, Pine Hill has a runner in third with nobody out. Swing and a miss. You might hear motorbikes in the background. There's a group of 4 or 5 young men who think it's very manly to drive all around Manning Field doing wheelies and making an awful lot of noise, disrupting the fields that the city tries to keep in shape. Riley Driscoll, the catcher. The count is 2-2. He's had a chance to knock in the first run. Hit foul off the backstop. Riley came in the other day and pitched a great game. I think he got like 11 strikeouts. And then he made a play to end the game. The game was a rout for Pine Hill, but against Lynn Shore, but he went way to his right from shortstop after he reached the pitch count. He went to shortstop. He went way to his right, almost on the outfield grass, speared the ground ball going into left field, and made a laser beam throw over to first base for the third out. So right after he pitches a great game, has to leave the mound because of the pitch count, he makes a great play to end the game. That was like an ESPN highlight. Hit in the air. It's going to drop in back of second base for a base hit. Driscoll gets the first hit. He's got an RBI. Barrett scores the first run. And Pine Hill has jumped on top. Elijah Moran, the pitcher, is the hitter. In for a strike. That was a high pop-up that fell behind the second baseman shortstop in front of the center fielder. Swing and a miss. 2 quick strikes. They take off. Shape at second base with Driscoll with a stolen base. So they're 2 for 2 in stolen bases. One, two, the count. Pitcher against pitcher. Hit foul. Out of play. Count stays 1-2. Popped up. Peterson helps himself. Move towards first base near the foul line. Makes the catch on the pop-up. So 1 away. Mason Palladino, the first baseman, will be the hitter. Swing and a miss. Hit in the air, that's going to go out of play. Over the West Lynn dugout. Way up and in for a ball. One, two, the count. So the Pine Hill first baseman. Missing high and tight again. Evens the count at 2. Solid shot, going to go foul again over the Westland dugout. Count stays 2-2. Way up and away. And the count goes full. So he was ahead of Palladino. Now he's got to come in with a pitch. Hit foul again. Palladino hanging around, wasting a lot of pitches. Losing a lot of baseballs. Hit into the outfield for a base hit. Driscoll will score.
Now batting for the Braves, number 1, Brian Boyson.
Palladino find a spot. That's a good at bat by Palladino. He hung around a long time, fouling off a lot of pitches. Finally got one he liked and ripped it just to the first base side of second base into right center field for a base hit. And Pine Hill has jumped up to a 2-0 lead. And brings out a trip to the mound. Coach Father Peterson talking to son pitcher Aiden Peterson. That went over the head, off the glove to the backstop. Palladino will move over to second base. 2 runs in, 1 out, the runner in scoring position. Brian Boyson is the center fielder for Pine Hill. Hit the shot, bobbled. That'll be the 3rd error in the inning for West Lynn. He had, just as he was going to pick the ball up to make the throw, he dropped it. So now it's 1st and 2nd with 1 out for Janso Pimentel, the second baseman. Swing and a miss. Hit foul to the backstop, quickly 2 strikes. A tapper. They dropped the ball at first base. Everybody's safe.
Now batting for the Braves, number 9, Shea Ball.
4 errors in the inning. Pine Hills jumped out to a 3-0 lead, and they have 1st and 3rd with 1 out. Popped up. Vinny Rodriguez, the 3rd baseman, makes the play. 2 away. Alphonse Wilhelmsen, the 3rd baseman. He's the 8th hitter in the inning. Swing and a miss. Wilhelmsen is the 3rd baseman for Pine Hill. Here are those macho motor scooter riders doing their thing. You can probably hear in the background. Popped up off the glove of the second baseman.
Now batting for the Braves, number 2.
The 4th run scores, and the Braves are batted around. Five errors in the inning. 2 of the errors are scored. 1 of the errors set up another run. Hit solidly hard, but right out in front of it just enough to pull it past 3rd base foul. 0-2 the count. Peterson deserves a bit of fate on the mound. He could have been out of this inning a long time ago. High for a ball. Hit in the air to center field. Running catch, nice play. Manny Rodriguez kept going to his left and finally made the diving catch 9 hitters bat in the inning. 4 of them score. 5 errors by West Lynn. I hope you can hear me with all the motor scooters going on around me. We played an inning. Pine Hill leading West Lynn 4-0. Brendan Malloy, the catcher, will lead it off for West Lynn. And he'll get some room to make up. Up and away for a ball. Well, at 4 pitches, Malloy becomes the first base runner for West Lynn.
Number 8, Dante Giordano.
Dante Giordano, the third baseman, is the hitter. In for a strike, 1-1. In the dirt, nice stop by the catcher, Driscoll. Hit foul to the backstop. Throw gets away, but it was going right towards second base, so nobody going anywhere. Down the way, that goes to the backstop. That'll move the runner up. Swing and a miss for strike 3.
Now batting for the Red Sox, number 13, Gianni.
So the first 4 outs are strikeouts. That's the first one swinging. 3 in the first inning were all called. Gianni Bernabel, the first baseman, is the hitter. Takes it high and tight for a ball. In for a strike. Chase, that pitch was way up and in. Moran's one of the few pitchers we've seen this year, and he really pitches from a full windup. Most people pitch from a stretch. He goes way over the head. Big leg kick. And it's a called third strike.
Now batting for the Red Sox, number 9.
So the beat goes on for Elijah Moran. 5 outs, 5 strikeouts.
Pinch hitting for the Red Sox. Number 8, Jacob Gonzalez.
That goes to the backstop. I think they said Jacob Gonzalez. He wasn't on the roster they gave me. This is supposed to be Albert Collado. Collado is, I know, is hurt. He's got a hand problem. Goes to the backstop. The runner hesitated but scores. So Brendan Malloy manufactures a run. He walks and scores on 3 wild pitches. And he gets West Lynn on the board. So Collado started. He was out in the outfield. His problem is one of his hand or a finger. And he can't catch the ball. He has to let it bounce. But he showed up in uniform and got it out in the outfield so his team could play the game. So for the second inning in a row, Elijah Moran strikes out the side. He gave up the walk and the wild pitcher scored a run, but he still keeps his record intact. 6 outs, 6 strikeouts. So the walk came around to score, gets West Lynn on the board. We'll move into the top of the second, and it'll be the same as the top of the first. Top of the order, they batted around Pine Hill. They sent 9 to the plate and scored 4 runs. Thanks to 5 errors by West Lynn. And it took a terrific catch by Manny Rodriguez in center field to end the inning. Well, they would have scored a few more. So Peterson will start his second inning. He's trailing 4-0, but not his fault. He pitched well enough to get out of the inning, but he could sue for non-support. So Jackson Barrett, he reached on the double error. It was an error at short. And when they threw the ball back to the pitcher, they threw it over his head, and the runner wound up at second base. He stole third and scored on Driscoll's base hit for the first run of the game. So he's 0 for 1, but he scored a run. Swing and a miss. So thanks to Brendan Malloy, West Lynn ate into that 4-0 lead. Got West Lynn on the board. Knocked down at second base. Merriman stopped that from going in the outfield, but he had no play. Barrett's on for the second time. And for the second inning in a row, Pine Hill has the leadoff hitter on. Riley Driscoll singled in a run, stole second, and scored on Palladino's single. So he's 1 for 1 with an RBI and a run scored. Tries to bunt. Pitch was way up and in. He had to step away and reach up to bunt it, and he pushed it foul towards third base. And if you watch these games, I've mentioned many times, they love that high pitch. Swing and a miss. The runner takes off. safe. They dropped the ball. The umpire called them out initially, but they dropped the ball, and that's another error. They had the out and they dropped the ball. Good throw by Malloy, the catcher, put it right on the base. They caught it, put the tag down, and they dropped the ball. Driscoll hits it foul off to the first base side. Swing and a miss, he gets him. First strikeout for Peterson. Elijah Moran, the pitcher. Off the catcher. That bounced in the dirt off Malloy. Barrett will go to third. We got some of the West Lynn fans out here helping to coach their team. The left fielder was like 6 inches away from the left field fence. In the right center field for a base hit. He's going to keep right on going. I've been saying Moran, it's Morin. It's M-O-R-I-N. So Morin gets a triple. Boy, he flew around the bases. Barrett scores his second run. And that offsets Malloy's run and gets Pine Hill their 4-run cushion back. Mason Palladino singled in a run and scored a run in the first inning, so he's 1 for 1 with an RBI and a run scored. Hit off the first baseman's glove. Yet another error. Normally you don't get an RBI, but the run would have scored anyway. Palladino scores his second run. Ryan Boyshon, the center fielder, is the hitter. In for a strike. They stopped putting it up on the board. I knew it was a strike. I didn't know it was strike 3. Boyson strikes out Calder on strikes. So both outs have been strikeouts. Chancel Pimentel reached on an error. Waves at that pitch. He'd have been out of the inning already. They had the runner at second base on the stolen base, but the ball was dropped and the runner was safe, and he wound up scoring. Chased that pitch. So Peterson strikes out the side. But Pine Hill adds to their lead. 2 more errors in the inning. 2 big hits, the big triple by Morin. We finished 2 here at Volunteer Field. Pine Hill 6, West Lynn 1. Casey Kelter, the lone female playing in this game. part of the very athletic Kelter family, very good friends. Ducks the pitch was way inside. He's the second baseman. Low for a ball. 2-0 the count. In for a strike, 2-1. 8, 9, and 1. For Westland as we start the third inning. Warren quickly comes back to even the count at 2-2. I apologize to Elijah. I was calling him Moran. Swing and a miss for strike 3.
Now batting for the Red Sox, number 3, Manny Rodriguez.
Manny Rodriguez, the center fielder, he made that nice diving catch to end the first inning. Or they would have had an even bigger inning. They had 4. They would have had a few more. In for a strike. Down and away for a ball. We talked about Warren. The windup really is an exaggerated full windup. The big leg kick over the shoulder. Low for a ball. Nice stop by Driscoll, the catcher. High for a ball. 3-1. Rodriguez draws the second walk, given up by Morin.
Batting for the Red Sox, number 2, Aiden Peterson.
Aiden Peterson, the pitcher, was called on strikes, leading off the ball game. In for a strike. Drop foul towards third base. These young 12-year-olds, they come up in all different shapes and sizes. Warren on the mound is a tall right-hander. Peterson at the plate is about half his size. Call third strike. He gets Peterson for the second time.
Batting for the Red Sox, number 4, Torres.
Carmelo Torres struck out but had to be thrown out at first base when the ball got off the catcher's glove. Way up and in, had a duck away from that one. Now they throw the ball down to first to get the runner, and they throw it into right field. Rodriguez scoots over to second. So Pine Hill makes their first error. And now the wild pitch will move the runner to third. in for a strike. 2-1 the count. Torres is the second baseman for West Lynn. Down and in for a ball. He's a multi-dimensional player. The last game he was second baseman, went to right field and went behind the plate. In for a strike and the count goes full. The payoff pitch up and coming. Another strikeout. Moran has pitched 3 innings, 9 outs, 9 strikeouts. Nobody's put the ball in play yet. They got 2 walks, but nobody's put the ball in play.
Total pitches that inning for Elijah, 20 for a total of 51.
For Pine Hill, it'll be the bottom 3 in the order, 7, 8, and 9. Shea Paul, Alphonse Williamson, Jordan McLeod. Six to 1. Errors have been a big part of the game. 7 committed by West Lynn. Five in the first inning gave Pine Hill 4 runs. They made a couple more in the second when they added 2 more. West Lynn hasn't got a hit yet, but they got a run. Malloy walked and scored on 3 wild pitches. Aiden Peterson will start his 3rd inning of work. Tournament started out with 5 teams. We're down to 3. East Lynn sitting in the wings, trying to make it 2 City Series championships in a row. They are defending champions, and they're in the catbird seat right now. They're sitting back. They'll play the winner of this game, and the winner will have to beat them twice. Shea Paul is the hitter. He popped to the 3rd baseman, his 1 trip. Swing and a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike. Hit back to the mound. Peterson, who's a shortstop when he's not pitching, feels it very nicely. Gets it over to Brunabel at first. Paul is out. The play goes 6-3 for the first out. And it's the first inning of these first 3 that Pine Hill didn't get the leadoff hitter on base. Alphonse Williamson reached on an error. Tries to bunt, fouls it off. He had a little pop-up out in the short right field that was caught and then dropped by the second baseman. Popped up, and first baseman can't get there. It wasn't hit high enough. 0-2 the count to the Pine Hill 3rd baseman. Hit the shot. Nice play. Rowan Merriman makes the play.
Now batting for the Braves, number 2.
Merriman hails the first 2 outs. Swing and a miss. hit solidly, but it was fair, they called it. I thought they called it foul. Solid shot just over the third base bag. Jordan McLeod gets the base hit. Jackson Barrett has been productive. He reached on there and scored, singled and scored. Not bad for your leadoff hitter. Nice stop by Malloy, the catcher that was ticketed for the backstop. In for a strike, 1-1. Hit to short. Merriman makes his third play, makes this one unassisted. So Peterson gives up a base hit, but gets out of the inning unscathed. First inning that Pine Hill didn't score. We reached the end, the halfway mark of this losers bracket final. Pine Hill 6, West Lynn 1. Rowan Merriman will lead off. Jacob Moran is now in left field for Pine Hill. Nice stop by Driscoll, and the pitch was in the dirt. Merriman, like every other hitter that has made an out, struck out. 9 outs, 9 strikeouts. Hit to short. That's the first ball put in play by West Lynn. Barrett makes the play over to Palladino. And that's the first out that's not a strikeout. Brendan Malloy has scored the only run for West Lynn. He drew a walk and scored on 3 wild pitches. That one bounces off the glove on Driscoll to the backstop. In for a strike. 1-1 the count. Malloy is the catcher for West Lynn. In for a strike on the corner. 1-2. Chased the pitch that was weighing on the hands. He swung right through it. 2 up, 2 down in the fourth. Dante Giordano struck out swinging his one trip. In for a strike. Moran goes to that long, slow, full windup with the big kick. Pitch missed inside. 1-1 the count. That one bounced. Nice stop by Driscoll on a pitch in the dirt. He's done a nice job behind the plate. Swing and a miss. And we got our first deuces wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. So the 1 ground ball, but he gets 2 more strikeouts. 11 out of 12 outs.
Now batting for the Red Sox, number 13, Gianni Renaval.
I thought that was strike 3. It got away from the catcher and he threw it away. So he struck out, but he reached. I saw him swing and miss. In for a strike. I apologize. I didn't see the ball get away. And then he threw it away at first base. Off Driscoll's glove. He almost threw it away at third base. So this is Gianni Bernable, the first baseman who was called out on strikes his 1 trip. Solid shot out to right field for a base hit. 1 run scores. And he's going to keep going. Bernable will go all the way to third base with a triple. First hit of the ball game.
Now batting for the Red Sox, number 8, Jacob Gonzalez.
So that strikeout that reached scores a run. It's now 6-2. Bernable at third base. And I believe they said this is Gonzalez. I don't know for sure because he wasn't on the lineup card they gave me. He was supposed to be Albert Collado, but he's the one that had the problem, the injury to his hand. It had to be his glove hand. And that's a call, third strike. So he gets 3 strikeouts in the inning. 1 of them reached, and the one that reached scored a run.
Total pitches, 18-69.
So he struck out the side in every inning and also got to ground out the shortstop in 1 inning because the strikeout reached. So he's got 12 strikeouts. So Wesleyan manufactures another run with that strikeout that reached. The ball was thrown away. When he tried to get him at first, he went to second. Wild pitch to third, and then a triple by Bernable brought him home. And it's 6-2. And I've been remiss. I've been saying this all the way through all of these games. A big tip of the hat to all of these people, the coaches, the players, the family members who work the concession stands, everybody that gets behind this thing. A whole lot of work gets done so these kids can play during the summer. Fields have to be upkept, especially with the weather we've had. It's been awful. So a lot of work had to go through to get these fields ready so these kids can play. And a big tip of the hat to the East Lynn people who got this together and put all of this together and are hosting this city series. Little League has been going since 1951 was the first year. East Lynn and West Lynn, the two teams. And it moved from there to eventually 7 teams. There were 2 West Lynn teams. Pine Hill, Lynn Shore, Wyoma, and Central Little League. They played on the same field that East Lynn did, right next to Manning Bowl. In fact, there were 2 fields there. One was out in right field of the Frazier Field baseball diamond. Rowan Merriman will be the new pitcher. Driscoll gave up 6 runs, 5 hits, didn't walk a batter, struck out 3, and could sue for non-support. The bunt is down. He's going to beat it for a base hit. Driscoll gets his second hit, and for the 3rd inning in 4, Pine Hill has the leadoff hitter on. Elijah Morin popped to the pitcher, tripled in a run and scored. So he's 1 for 2 with an RBI and a run scored. In for a strike. Hit up the middle for a base hit. Moore gets his second hit. Driscoll goes to 3rd on the hit. Morin goes to 2nd on the throw. And it's 2nd and 3rd with nobody out for Mason Palladino. He singled in a run and scored. Reached on an error that got him an RBI because the run would have scored anyway. It was a ground ball to first base with a runner at 3rd. So he's knocked in 2 and scored a run. He's 1 for 2. So Elijah Morin is pitching and hitting. Swing and a miss. He chased that high pitch. That was almost like an excuse me swing. That was almost by him when he swung the bat. High for a ball. So a little different version with Merriman on the mound. He throws a little bit harder, a little bigger figure. He takes his step to the mound. He gets him a little closer. Down and away. They throw the ball back to the pitcher, and he out at the plate. I don't know why they're trying to steal home plate. Driscoll's out. Second and 3rd, nobody out. You're leading 6-2. I'm not sure why you want to try to steal home. Merriman got it quickly to Malloy, who put the tag down. That pitch was way up and in, almost like self-defense. I'll swing at that one. And didn't strike out. He got a piece. It's actually a foul ball. Little chopper to second base. Knocked down. He can't make the play. I hate to say yet another error.
Ryan Boyson.
Palladino gets his second RBI on ground ball errors. Ryan Boyson reached that error and scored. Was called on strikes for the first time against Merriman. That pitch was high and tight and got away. I'm waiting to see if he calls it. He did call it because he did offer at it. I'm not sure why the umpire's coming out and have a little conversation with Merriman. I don't know what that was all about. High for a ball. In for a strike. Tried a bunt and fouled it off. So the count goes full. 3-2. Hit in the air to right field. It's going to go foul out of play. Way up and in. He swung right through it. That was ball 4.
Now batting for the Braves. Number 12, Yancel Pimentel.
Jansel Pimentel reached an error and struck out. That was both against Aiden Peterson. In for a strike. Quickly 0-2. Palladino's been bouncing around second base trying to force a throw. He finally got one. He had to dive back. Call third strike. So back-to-back strikeouts ends the 4th inning. But Pine Hill gets one more. They've stretched that lead. It's now Pine Hill 7, West Lynn 2 at the end of 4. Casey Kelter. We mentioned the lone female playing. Used to be quite a few females have played Little League and did extremely well. I think Sharon Nicosia might have been the first one. Outstanding athlete. Katie Bird, I think, was the last one. As the beat goes on for Moore, and he's got another strikeout.
Batting for the Red Sox, number 3, Manny Rodriguez.
Manny Rodriguez drew a walk, one of 2 that Morin has given up. The first walk came around to score. 2 walks, a strikeout that reached, and a triple. The only base runners for West Lynn. That one took off, went way wide left. That had no chance of getting anywhere near home plate. It was closer to the West Lynn dugout than it was to home plate. Down and in for a ball. In for a strike, the count goes full. Rodriguez is the center field. They made that nice running catch, ending the first inning. Strike 3 called, it gets away, and they throw it away. And he's going to go to second base. This happened before. Same thing happened. Giordano wound up scoring a run. Second error both times. It's been they threw the ball away at first base looking for the base runner. Rodriguez is on for the second time. Aiden Peterson has struck out twice. So it was a call, third strike. It got away from the catcher. They threw the ball away at first base. He winds up at second. Giordano did that, went to third in a wild pitch and scored on Venables' triple. Peterson, one of the few times that West Lynn's put the ball in play. That's only the second out that's not a strikeout. Carmelo Torres, the second baseman, is the hitter. In for a strike. Way up and in for a ball. Down and in. Goes to the backstop, and it happens again. This time it's a wild pitch, but the strikeout scores. The strikeout scored before. Now Rodriguez scoots around. Almost the same scenario, except it was a triple. This time it's a wild pitch. Down and in for a ball. And the count goes full. It's in for strike 3. So 2 more strikeouts in the inning. "14 strikeouts. Only 2 balls are put in play. 14 strikeouts. 2 of the strikeouts reached. And 2 of the strikeouts that reached scored. So 1 run on no hits. Both times there's been a couple of errors. Ground ball to second, ground ball to Shaw has been the only out that's not a strikeout. Normally there would be 13 strikeouts and 2 putouts, but 2 of the strikeouts reached. Seven, 8, and 9 for Pine Hill as we start the bottom of the 5th. Merriman will go to work for his second inning. Shea Paul, the right fielder, is popped to third and grounded to short. They get the bunt down. Merriman throws it right off the first baseman's glove. He put it right on the money, and the first baseman just didn't catch it. I hate to say that's another error.
Now batting for the Braves, number 7.
Alphonse Williamson, the third baseman, reached on an error. 9 errors for West Lynn. Nice the bunt and fouls it off the backstop. Williamson reached on an error, grounded out short to first. That pitch was a mile over his head, and he still tried to bunt it, and he bunted it foul. Strike 3 called. Jacob Moran went into play left field. He's up for the first time. In for a strike. So the last 3 outs from Merriman have been strikeouts. 2 to end the 4th, and 1 here in the 5th. Swing and a miss for strike 3.
Now batting for the Braves, number 5.
Jackson Barrett reached that error, scored, singled and scored. Last time up, he bounced out into a fielder's choice. Shortstop unassisted at second base to put out. And that gets away. And Paul will go to third. High and tight for a ball. In for a strike. in for a strike. And we got deuces wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Hit foul, out of play. We'll do it again at 2-2. So he strikes out the side after the error began the inning. They leave a runner at third. West Lynn needs a big inning. They're down to the last 3 outs. Pine Hill leading West Lynn 7-3 going into the 6th inning. Rowan Merriman has struck out, grounded a shot. He's looking to get it started. West Lynn needs an inning. This is their last chance. Patient Palladino was the new pitcher. So Moran goes 5, gives up 3 runs. 1 was a walk that scored, 2 were strikeouts that reached that scored. He gave up 1 base hit, the 2 walks. He struck out 14. Down and in for a ball. Hit in the center field for a base hit.
Now batting for the Red Sox, number 5,
Brendan Malloy got Western on the board in the 2nd inning. He drew a walk and scored on 3 wild pitches. Last time up, he struck out. He'll be facing Palladino for the first time. In for a strike. Hit foul, out of play. Oh, 2 the count. Malloy is the catcher for West Lynn. Down and in for a ball. That one goes to the backstop. Merriman, I don't think he thought Driscoll was going to throw the ball. They almost threw him out. The throw went into center field, but he slid in the second, which you have to do. And that meant he couldn't go to third. Hit foul off the backstop. The count stays 2-2. Strike 3 called.
Now batting for the Red Sox, number 8,
Dante Giordano. He was the first of 2. He struck out the first time. Last time up, he struck out. The ball got away from the catcher. They threw the ball away at first base. He wound up at second, went to third, a wild pitch, and scored on Brunable's triple. He was the first of 2 to do that. Swing and a miss. Manny Rodriguez was the second one. And now the error is going to Merman takes off. The ball got away from the pitcher. He'll go to third. Manny Rodriguez to the other one. He struck out. Again, they threw the ball by the first baseman. He went to second, went to third, a ground ball, and scored on a wild pitch. So 2 of the 3 runs they scored were strikeouts that reached. And now another strikeout. It's been a multitude of strikeouts. 16 strikeouts. Gianni Bernabo called on strikes. He got the first hit of the game for West Lynn. He got a triple, knocking in a run. And now he gets hit by a pitch. So first and third with 2 outs.
Now batting for the Red Sox, number 8, Jacob Gonzalez.
Jacob Gonzalez. He was the late addition that went in to play right field in place of Collado, who we mentioned before. Red badge of courage for Collado. He went out in the right field and played, even though his hand is injured and he can't really, it has to be his glove hand, and he can't really catch the ball, but he stayed out there till they got somebody to come back and take his place. Brennan will move to second as the ball went off the glove of the catcher Driscoll. Second and third with 2 outs. West Lynn would need Gonzalez to get on. And the next hitter that got up would have to score as well to get back in the game. They're down 7-3. Second and third, 2 outs. That one's in the dirt. Two one to count. Swing and a miss. And we got deuces wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. West Lynn down to that last out. Hit to the pitcher. They make the play at first. One of the few outs that wasn't a strikeout. And Pine Hill is alive and kicking. Their pulse gets a little bit stronger. They still have to beat East Lynn twice, but they're alive to do it. West Lynn, who won the first game of the tournament, loses 2 in a row. Pine Hill got on the board in the first inning. Barrett reached on a double error, reaching second base. Riley Driscoll, after a stolen base, singled him in. Riley Driscoll scored on an RBI single by Palladino, and he scored on an error by the first baseman. And then Brian Boyson, who reached on an error, scored on an error by the second baseman. 5 errors in the first inning resulted in 4 innings for Pine Hill. They got 2 more in the second inning. Barrett singled, went to second on an error. Went to third, a wild pitch, scored on the pitcher Morin's RBI triple. Morin scored on an infield error. And it was 6-0, or 6-1, because West Lynn got a run in the top of the second. Malloy walked, scored on 3 wild pitches. So it was 6-1. They made it 6-2 in the 4th inning. Giordano struck out. They threw the ball away at first base. He went to third on a wild pitch, scored on Bernabel's triple to make it 6-2. Pine Hill got that run back. Moran, who reached on a base hit, scored on an infield error to make it 7-2. Pine Hill again scored. Rodriguez reached on an error. When he struck out and they threw the ball away, he went to second, ground ball, the second wild pitch. He scored to make it 7-3, and that was the final score. As Pine Hill stays alive, getting their second win of the tournament. They'll now take on East Lynn in the championship final, having to beat them twice. For West Lynn, Rowan Merriman had a base hit. Malloy got that walk and scored a run. Giordano reached on that strikeout and scored a run. Bernable had a triple, got hit by a pitch, knocked in a run. And Rodriguez walked and reached on that strikeout and came around to score. And that was it. They only got two base hits in the game. For Pine Hill, Jackson Barrett reached on an error, single, scored 2 runs. Riley Driscoll and RBI singles scored a run, got his second hit. He had 2 hits, knocked in a run, scored a run. Elijah Moran, the winning pitcher, had an RBI triple, scored a run, had a single, scored a run. So he had 2 runs scored, knocked in a run. Mason Palladino was on base 3 times. He singled, reached on 2 errors, had 3 RBI, scored a run. Brian Boyson reached on an error, scored a run. Jansel Pimentel reached on an error. Shea Paul reached on an error. Alphonse Wilhelmsen reached on an error. Jordan McLeod had a base hit, 1 of 2. 9 errors helped Pine Hill score, especially in the first inning when they got 4. They win it 7-3. The winning pitcher, Moran, went 5 innings, gave up the 3 runs. 2 of them, I've never seen it before. 2 runners that scored that struck out, that came around to score. He gave up 1 base hit, walked 2, struck out 14, and he pitches Pine Hill into the winner's bracket final, which will be tomorrow against East Lynn. Pine Hill will have to beat them twice. So congratulations to West Lynn on a very good season. Their season is over. The coaching staff and the players did a great job, but they come up short against Pine Hill, and their season ends, and Pine Hill will live to play at least 1 more game against East Lynn tomorrow here. They have to beat them twice, as I mentioned before, but they win it today. Pine Hill 7, West Lynn 3 in the losers bracket final of this 2021 Lynn City Series. We hope you enjoyed it. I'm Don Hoffman saying we'll see you next time.